Good morning and welcome to today's Smart Business Strategies podcast. I am Anna Wilds, the franchise economist. I'm delighted to have you here. Please join me in welcoming our very special guest, Kelly Mock with Bloomin Blinds. Kelly, welcome to the show.
Anna, such a pleasure to have some time with you. Thank you so much for including me in today's show.
I really have been wanting to have you on because I'm going to go ahead and say in a nutshell, this is a home-based, scalable business, fat, juicy profit margins, low investment level, fast ramp up. But gee, I'm not going to sell it. I'll let you tell the audience about it, but it's just a super great opportunity, and I'm delighted you're here to share it with my audience. So start us off and tell us a little bit about you and a little bit more about Bloomin Blinds.
Happy to, absolutely. You'll find this a passion project for me. I love guiding people through the Bloomin Blinds opportunity. So my role is to educate people on the opportunity that is Bloomin Blinds. Like you mentioned, we are home-based, actually mobile. We are low investment. We're super scalable. There's no inventory. You can start independently with no employees. So you really can see a return on your investment much quicker. We love an owner-operator model. We're really looking for somebody to make this their full-time commitment, and that's where we're seeing the best success with our franchisees. But we're highly scalable. We've got many franchisees now that are growing into 3, 4, 5 vans and employees and truly growing a business, even though they've started a little bit smaller and lean and mean, as I like to say.
Yeah. Well, one thing that really I find very interesting about Bloomin Blinds is that you do both interior and exterior work. Is that right? Wow. And you do primarily residential, but there's also the opportunity for commercial.
Yep, you're absolutely right about that. So, windows are everywhere. There's no stopping at just doing interior home windows, right? So we have definitely grown the business. We do have franchisees that really lean in on the commercial side, like commercial. You're doing a business that's in a strip mall. You're doing a restaurant or a dental office. We're not going out and bidding on doing a hospital or a hotel. That's a completely different type of work. But really doing those types of businesses is no different than doing somebody's home. So absolutely, we have an extension and an ability to get in and do those like commercial work jobs. But the interior exterior thing is huge for us. We're always looking for additional revenue streams for our franchisees and having tremendous success with the outdoor roller shades, the shade structures, awnings, pergolas, and we continue to invest and evolve that product line. So there are lots of different revenue streams for our franchisees.
Well, we might have just answered my next question. So what makes Bloomin Blinds unique or different from other window covering franchises?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things on that really quickly. Like if you're looking for that big engine in franchising, that's not it. Bloomin Blinds is a family-owned and operated business. It was founded by a woman. Her sons got involved, turned it into a franchise system, but they've been in the vans, they've done all the work. And the corporate culture consistently is the number one thing that people tell me that are signing with Bloomin Blinds. It's one of the number one reasons that they chose Bloomin Blinds. So we've got that real family feel here and experts in the industry that are accessible to you. We do repairs. Most of our competitors are not offering repairs. I always challenge people, Google blind repair near me and see what comes up in your market, right? It's going to be very, very few options out there. So the repair side simply gets us into more homes than our competitors at the end of the day. And then technology. Bloomin Blinds is truly a technology company. The blinds just happen to be the widget for us. We use technology in every aspect of our business. We've revamped our entire technology stack for our franchisees, literally from the acquisition stage right through to cash flow management and everything in between. Because at the end of the day, we're focused on 3 things. We want a better customer experience for our homeowners. We want franchisees to have efficiencies in their business, and we want them to make money. Right? And the technology that we're investing in specifically through AI is really affording franchisees and their communities those experiences and opportunities.
That is really fantastic. Big differentiators there, Kelly.
Yeah.
Okay, so describe the role of an owner. How is he or she spending their day?
Yeah, so our franchisees in the early days, as I said, because you don't need to hire an employee. It's not to say that you can't. If you don't see yourself wanting to do all aspects of the business right out of the gate, there's always avenues for contract labor, or you can hire initially, but it's not necessary, right? So a franchisee is wearing all of the hats, and what better way to learn your business from the ground up and truly become the expert in it yourself so that you can really scale the business, hire employees, be the expert in your own business. So they are wearing all of the hats. They are, working through the marketing. Some of our best franchisees are the ones that are out there doing the grassroots types of initiatives, right? We want you to go and meet with a real estate group on their Monday morning meeting and take them some donuts and coffee, because real estate agents are always looking for people in window coverings, right? Be their go-to person, right? So doing that kind of thing, being out at home shows, being part of your local business networking groups, you're going to spend some time doing that. But we do have an in-house call center. They're going to take all of our franchisees' inbound calls. They're going to speak with the customer initially, and they're going to get the appointments booked. So you don't have to be doing any of that, which is great because it does allow you to focus on building the business and your customers at hand. So you're going to be out, you're going to be doing sales, installations, repairs throughout the day. You do have some control over your schedule because it's very interactive with our call center. And so if you need to block out that time because you're going to the kids' soccer game on Wednesday afternoon, well, that's what you do, right? And so it's in real time. So you can control your schedule Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. There's no blind emergencies. And our franchisees certainly love that aspect of it. But it does really give you control back of your life. And so you're going to be in the home doing all of the things for the homeowners in those initial days.
No nights, no weekends, no holidays, no 2 a.m. calls with an emergency.
No. And I love telling stories as I guide people through business ownership of different franchisees that have come before them, because I think it allows people to see themselves in those owners, right? And so we had a franchisee that worked in hospitality his entire life before he bought a Bloomin Blinds. He had never spent Christmas at home with his kids until the first year he owned his Bloomin Blinds.
Wow.
Like, if that kind of story doesn't give you chills and really talk about life change and taking control of your own life and making your family priority, and whatever it is that's driving you to consider a business, I don't know what does.
That's really wonderful. So who makes an ideal candidate for Bloomin Blinds? Kelly, do you need to come from any particular background? Do you need to be like a designer? Do you need to come from construction or handy? Do you have to be handy to do this?
Yeah, in terms of being handy, I'd say if you can hold a hand drill, if you're comfortable putting a couple of screws up into a window frame, that's the extent of being handy with Bloomin Blinds. We have an incredible training facility, but at the end of the day, we're looking for people, right? People, personality, people that are going to be proud of their business. They're going to want to go into homes. They're going to want to be problem solvers. We don't need salespeople. I need people that want to connect with homeowners, right? We've all bought home services before, and think about the people that you've bought from and what compelled you to want to work with those individuals, right? So we're looking for the soft skills. And I think that's so very important. If you're handy, that's great. We've got a mix of male and female owners. You certainly don't have to have a design background. The technology that we use, the sample kits that you're carrying, are going to help with that piece. But let's be honest, Anna, the primary buyer of window coverings, it's you and I. It's typically the female in the household. And there is no doubt that you and I have poured over HGTV. We've looked at different things on Pinterest. We have a pretty good idea of what we want already coming into the home. So never let the concern that you've got to be, design savvy or have an eye for design or interior decorating be a compelling reason to keep you from looking at Bloomin Blinds. It's certainly not a requirement in any way, shape, or form.
And that is because of your outstanding training and support. You want to speak to that, Kelly?
Yeah. We think it's really important that franchisees are well trained. You've got to know what it is that you're getting into before you set foot in that very first house. So we take our franchisees through a 4-week onboarding program. We want to make sure that you've got your business licensing and you've got your vehicle, and we fully outfit that vehicle for you with all of your tools and your sample kits, your branded apparel, the wrap, everything is in that vehicle ready to go. It's business in a box, which is great. But then we've got to get you out to Dallas. And so that's where our corporate offices are. We have a phenomenal training center. It's got a mock home, a mock backyard. We take you through real life role-playing, hands-on training sessions over a full 2-week period. It's very immersive. And at the end of that 2 weeks, you're still not going to know everything there is to know about window coverings, but you're going to have a really good comfort level. So that when you go home and your business is launched that Monday morning right out of training, you can go in and do the job. And then we want to make sure that you've got that support on the other end, because you're going to have those moments of, I just don't remember that, or I've never seen that before. So we make sure that our franchisees have access to our leadership team, to our support team, the training team, the product resource team, so that when you've got those questions and you're in the field, you've got somebody that you can connect with directly. And if and the first 3 months of your business, that phone is being used constantly, and we highly encourage that. We're there for you.
Okay, that's great. Now, share a couple of stories to really back up the claim that you really don't need to come from any particular background to be successful with this. Do you have a couple of franchisee stories you can?
Yeah, absolutely. One of our most successful franchisees, I'm pretty sure he's colorblind, and he worked on trains his entire life, right? And he's truly grown and scaled the business to be one of our most successful franchisees in the system. He's a little quirky, really super fun loving, and just a really great guy. And we've taught him the ins and out of the industry. We've had several people come from corporate America. They've left, they didn't want to climb the corporate ladder anymore. They didn't like the hours. They didn't like all the things that people come to you and I looking for a business for.
Or they hit the ceiling.
Yeah, they've hit that ceiling, and they just want more for their lives. I think one of the things we've seen quite prevalently, and this has happened on many occasions, but most recently we just placed a new franchisee who's been in corporate America working for one of the most iconic sports franchises in their marketing division for over 20 years now, but he just had enough. And he decided that with his 2 grown sons, one who's in real estate and one who is getting a degree in construction management, not that that matters, but these are 2 kids that he feels are going to be part of their family business. They really attach to the family aspect that Bloomin Blinds was, and how that's exactly what their family did. And he's decided to leave and create this legacy for his family. And I think we see that so very often now. People are looking to work as couples, or they've got an older child, or even younger kids that they want to show them there's a path to something else. You don't have to go to 4 years of college and then move into a traditional corporate role where you're working for somebody else. So we've seen teachers, we've seen lawyers, we've seen lots of people from corporate America making that transition into Bloomin Blinds.
Well, that's great. Kelly, this show is called Smart Business Strategies. What is a smart business strategy that Bloomin Blinds uses that you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah, so I think the technology piece, just going back to that, is so very prevalent in everything that we do, Anna. The home services industry as a whole, and certainly the window covering industry, is very analog still, right? So many of our competitors are still walking around with a pencil behind their ear and a tape measure on their belt, and they're going to take measurements with that tape measure, jot them down, and go off and get you a quote, or not, right? We've all been chasing down people like that. But Bloomin Blinds is really going to come in with a tremendous amount of technology. I mean, we come in, we use laser measuring devices. We have the ability to hold our iPad right up to your window, capture your window on the screen, and show you different types of, window coverings. I see you've got blinds, I see you've got draperies, and behind you, like, we can show you what that looks like on your window. We can go out to the truck, bring in those sample kits, show you different colors to match to your home decor, different slat sizes, etc. And we can really drill down on what it is that you want and provide you a quote on that product right then and there in the home. So yeah, the technology that we use really sets that buying experience for our homeowners completely apart from our competitors.
I agree. Kelly, we are out of time. If someone wants to learn more about Bloomin Blinds, what should they do?
Anna, they should absolutely contact you. You and I have worked together for many, many years. You are the expert in guiding people through business ownership, and I'd highly encourage they reach out to you. You can connect them with the brands that make the most sense for them.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Kelly. And thank you so much for being here. Audience, this is Kelly Mock with Bloomin Blinds.
Pleasure. Thank you, Anna.
And audience, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching and listening. And be sure to come back next week where we're going to have another rip-roaring opportunity for you to hear about. I'm Anna Wilds, the franchise economist. See you next Wednesday at noon. Set an alarm, make it a priority to be here and be wildly wealthy in all areas of your life. Bye-bye.